high crocheters of the world. Blouse, Talia blouse is the closed version of the cardigan Clair de Lune that I worked for as a summer version. Of course, you can work as a winter version. I work it with the yarn Talia, with this very nice ribbon, nice color, pastel color, so very lovely, 100% cotton. And I can give you a version with the yarn Saria, a little bit with paille, a little bit, it's a winter version. Very lovely yarn, this one too. So if you want the summer yarn, you can use Talia. If you want the winter yarn, you can use Suria. Really nice top down, a classic top down with the clusters, exactly as the cardigan Clair de Lune. It's, if you already have seen the cardigan, it's not really difficult. So let's get started. Begin with the beginning single crochet with 4.5 millimeters hook. I am working all the project with 5 millimeters hook, so half measure less for the beginning single crochets. Leave a long tail and pull up a loop with the tail, put it on the hook, yarn over with the tail, and yarn over, pull through two. So with the tail we have two on the hook, and we just continue on like this until we have 52 single crochets, beginning single crochet. So this is what I have, really nice and elastic. And mine measure, let's see how it measures, about 28 centimeters. So this is the entire part. So I will begin with a chain 3, and into the very first beginning single crochet I will work my elongated single crochet, pull through 1 and pull through 2, remain like this, work another 1, pull through 1, pull through 2, now yarn over, pull through all together, chain to secure, and chain 1 more. This is actually the stitch. Skip 2, insert hook into the third and work 1 elongated single crochet, double crochet that you don't close, the second elongated double crochet, and the third. So actually it's 3 double crochet cluster, you close it with a chain and chain 1 more for the chain 1 space. Now we continue on working like this. This is actually the pattern stitch, really easy. Second cluster, we skip 2 stitch and into the third we work a cluster. We continue on like this until the end of this very first row. We will finish with 1 cluster. Here I am, I have my 18 clusters. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 18 clusters. And let me just explain you. The first and the last are the front sides. 3 and 3, next 3 and 3 for the sleeves. And 5 and 5, so 10 that we have in the middle are for the back side. Okay, so this is the back side. 10 clusters for the back side, nice and elastic. As you can see, it's really nice and elastic. Let's see how it measures. So if you need 1 more, you can add 1 more. I'm working with 5 millimeters hook, a medium worsted yarn, as I said at the beginning, and I have about 21 centimeters for these 10 clusters, 28 centimeters for all clusters. Now I give you these measures just for you to be sure you understand, and you can actually, if you work it with another yarn. I have 3 and 3 for the sleeves, 10 and 10, and we will work the raglan increases into the clusters, the last and the first clusters of each part. So of the sleeve, of the this is the front side. Let us begin the second row, and we will begin with an increase. So into the very first cluster you work one cluster into the secure chain. We always work the cluster into the secure chain, and chain one, and work one more cluster into the same secure chain of the very first cluster of the previous row. Close with one chain, chain one more, and this is the first part of the first raglan increase. Now this is the these are the three clusters of the sleeve. Into the first one I will work again an increase, and this will be the second increase of the first raglan, and chain one more and work one more cluster into the same cluster, and this is the increase, the second increase of the first raglan line. Into the next cluster I will just work one cluster. It's on the sleeve, I'm working on the sleeve part, and into the last cluster I will work again an increase, and this is the first increase of the second raglan increase, which we put in between the first sleeve and the back side, the back of the neck. Okay, so I'm working my increase into the last stitch of the neck. This is what I have. This is the first raglan increase, first raglan line. I will put a marker, so you will need 4 markers to put in between your increases, so you will have the raglan increases. Now I will work one more increase on the first of the 10 clusters that I have for the back side. I will work again an increase on the last cluster of the back side, and on the first cluster of the second sleeve for the third raglan increase. Okay, so this is the first increase, the second increase for the second raglan increase, and it's worked into the first cluster of the back of the neck, the 10 clusters of the back of the neck. Okay, and I will put again a marker in between. I will work all the clusters into the 10th. I will work an increase, then I will work again an increase into the first cluster of the second sleeve, and then into the last cluster of the second sleeve, and into the last cluster, which is the cluster front cluster. So this is how I will create my 4 raglan lines. So here I am, I already finished my second row, and as you can see I created my 4 raglan increases. Very important, because with these raglan increases we will continue on. For the front side, so can you see we have 1 increase before, 1 increase after the marker, and from now on actually we will continue on increasing into the cluster before and into the cluster after the marker. Okay, so before and after the marker. As for the front sides, we will increase every second row. So I increased into this second row, into the third row I will begin without increase. So I will chain 3 and work into the secure chain, which is a little bit to the right. You will find it, the secure chain of the cluster. So I will skip the first, I don't increase, please don't increase in this third row. Work another cluster into the next cluster. So the secure chain where you have to work the cluster is to the right. And now I will work one more because I'm working on the cluster before the marker. This is very important for the construction of the raglan, to work 1 increase before, 1 increase after the cluster. after the marker, sorry, and to place the marker in between them. So I skip the marker, work into the next cluster, another increase, and this is the first cluster of the sleeve. Okay, you'll see it's really easy. Actually, the raglan, top down raglan, it's really a very nice construction. I love it. I worked my second increase of the first raglan line. Put the marker in between, always go on with the marker, and now I have to work before and after each marker. For the rest I will work one cluster into each cluster. So before the marker I will finish with one cluster. I don't want to increase, please don't forget. So in this row we will increase only into the cluster, only into the raglan increases, sorry. We don't want to increase at the beginning and at the end of the row in this third row. Okay, so continue on like this. Don't forget to work your raglan increases, and we will just go ahead and work until we will work our neckline, round neckline. Okay, so we will continue on with the raglan increases. We work into each cluster one cluster until we reach the cluster before the marker, and here there we will always work before and after the marker. We will always work two clusters into the cluster, and for the rest we will just go ahead and work one cluster into each cluster. Okay, so I work one more. Okay, and chain to secure a chain one, and now into the cluster before the marker we work another increase. So that's why I am saying don't forget to put the marker in between these increases, because it will be so very easy to understand where to put them. Okay, where to put the increases, the raglan lines. As we will work into the secure chain, we will have the effect, wavy effect, really nice wavy effect of the, because we work to the right and then to the left and so on each row. And it's so very nice, this effect. It's easy, it's a simple stitch pattern, but very nice. Okay, so I will work like this all this third row without increasing, only with the raglan increases. Okay, go ahead and work this third row. I will meet you at the end of this third row. Here I am, I finished my third row, and in this row I didn't put the increase at the beginning and at the end. Into the fourth row, so we alternate the increases for the neckline. We want to work a round neckline. Chain 3, work into the secure chain of the first cluster, one cluster to begin the fourth row. Okay, and another one. So into this fourth row we will increase into the first and the last cluster too, and of course the raglan increases, which are before and after the markers, the 4 markers. Okay, So this is what we have. I will continue on like this with the raglan increases. You all already know how to work them. Only that we will increase at the, so we increased at the beginning, we will increase at the end too. So I will finish this 4th row, and here I am. I have my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I already completed 5 rows. Yes. And now I just want to join in the round, so to work my round neckline. This is the raglan increase, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, and I increase in each, alternating the increases of the on the beginning of the beginning and the end. And on the back side, you will need to count all the clusters in between the markers on the back side. I have 18, and on the front side I have 6 and 6. So the difference must be a third part, more or less. For me it's perfect because I need to add actually 6 more clusters to have 18, the number of clusters that I have on the back side. But the rule is to have kind of 1/3, okay, of the number of the stitches that you have on the wrong side, on the back side, sorry. So for 6 cluster, I will multiply with 3, so I have to chain 18 because I work 1 cluster and skip 2 chains. Slip stitch on the other side, on the other front side, and cut your yarn. So when you want to finish, to close your front side, you just need to have the difference, to add the difference of the cluster between the back side and the 2 front sides, the sum of the front side. Okay. I put my 18 chains where I will work my 6 clusters to have 18 on the front side, and I will begin on the wrong side, into the first cluster on the raglan increase left right side. I already worked my first round, actually. I worked, and now I am working on my chains, so I skip 2 chains and I work into the third a cluster, chains to secure and chain more, skip 2 chains and into the third work your cluster and continue on. I have 6, but anyway, as I told you before, the rule is the difference between the sum of the front sides, the 2 front sides, and the back side, or is the number of cluster that you need to add, and this number you multiply by 3 is the number of the chains you need to add, because, you know, as you can see, we skip 2 chains and into the third we work our cluster. That's why we have to multiply by 3. Okay, so I'm working my clusters on the chain. I must have 6 clusters, and I began into the raglan increase left side, right side. I worked my clusters. Now I have to work my last one, and I began with half increase, and now at the end of the round I need to complete with the other half. So that will be the end of my round, because from now on we will just work in rounds actually. So I finished my 6, and now I have to work the last part of the clusters, And at the end, into the last cluster, I will work, as I said before, the increase to complete the raglan line. Okay, very important to understand how to join, actually. How to join the round. We will turn to begin a new round to maintain the effect that we gave to our pattern stitch, front and right and wrong side, because it's really wavy, nice effect. Okay, so I am at the end. I will work one more cluster into this last cluster that I worked in. Okay, and now chain one more, obvious, and insert hook into the secure chain of your first cluster and slip stitch to join. And this is the very first round that we actually worked. And from now on we will just turn to begin another round, and the cluster where we slip stitched in will be our beginning, our cluster to begin and to end our each round, actually. So we will continue on until the division. We will continue on only with the raglan increases. So this is the cluster where I slip stitched in. So this is the cluster where I begin to work another cluster, another round, yes. Work my first cluster and I skip into the next, and here I will work an increase. Okay, and into my first cluster, that one that I work, my first cluster that I work, I will work the increase, the last one, at the end of the round. Okay, so the second increase of the raglan, of this raglan increase, I work it like this, and the first one I will finish it at the end. So I will work one more cluster at the end, and so on. See you at the division part. So I am at the division part. I worked 9 rounds, 4 more rounds after the closure of the neckline and my raglan lines. Of course, you need to know I have the raglan line measures, mine raglan line measures about 21 centimeters, which is perfect for a medium, small to medium size. So it's very important to you to fit the underarm, and I will work all the front side and the back side only, and I will skip the sleeves. This is the underarm. Now while working, so exactly the division row, with the division row we will gain 1 centimeter, actually about 2 centimeters more underarm. So there will be 2 circumference for the arm. So now actually we have, and before I have to cut the yarn because I finish and begin the round on the arm, on the sleeve part, and now I don't need the sleeve. Okay, so you will you will need to cut the yarn too. I will begin on the wrong side, and I will begin on the left side, and I will work just one cluster of the first raglan increase on the left side. So I am on the wrong side, wrong left side, and I will work one chain 3 and one double elongated double crochet, second elongated double crochet, and pull through all, chain 2 secure and chain 1, and at the end of the row I will work the other one. Now I have to skip the sleeve, and I will just go ahead and work the back side. So from the marker to the marker I have about 30 centimeters of the circumference of the sleeve. As I said before, there will be two sizes, and with including the division row there will be about 36 centimeters. So we will actually include here M size and L size, large size. And you will see when we will work the sleeve, because I will begin the sleeve from the raglan increase of the sleeve, but to obtain the larger circumference you can begin the sleeve from the division row. Yes, the division row, and you will add some more clusters. So now just let us working the division row. I will skip the sleeve and work into the first cluster of the raglan increase of the back side. Only one cluster, obvious, we don't increase anymore. And now I will work all the back side. I worked all the back side, and now I am again, this is about how many, 22 clusters I have on the back side, and on the front side too. And now I have to work, so as you can see the distance it's nice and long. So as I said, it's about 2 centimeters and a half a row, a cluster row, and this is what you gain when you work the division row underarm. Okay, this is the, and if you need it you can leave it like this when you will work the sleeve. If you don't need it, you will see how I work the sleeve. So I will begin the sleeve only from the where I have the marker right now into the raglan of the sleeve, and I will have 15 centimeters, so 30 as I said before, so 30 centimeter of circumference, or 36. You will choose the one, and if you begin like this, can you see this is the circumference that I choose for me, for my size. So if you work like this, you will have these two sizes already prepared. Okay, this is the two clusters underarm. It's very important to look the details, because we can actually have these variations of the sizes 15 and 18 on one side, with or without the division row. And now let me finish the division row. I am at the end, so I will skip again the sleeve, the next sleeve. I will insert the hook into the first cluster of the raglan of the back side, of the front side, sorry, because I am on the front side now. Okay, skipping the sleeve again, and I will work all the front side until I will reach the first cluster that I worked. Because I worked just one cluster on the front side, then I skipped on the back side, work all the back side, then again on the right side, and now I will show you at the end of this round how to close and continue on in length with the increases. On both sides in length to obtain the width that you need. If you like it larger, I really love my blouses to be nice and large, and so I finished the front side, and here I am into the last cluster, actually the first that I worked, the last on the front side. I will insert hook on the left side. You will find the chain, the secure chain, insert hook and join with a slip stitch, and that first cluster of the round will be actually always the first cluster. Okay, and I will begin there with a yarn over pull through 2. So this is a single crochet plus chain 2 for the first elongated double crochet, then the second and the third elongated double crochet, and just go ahead and work this round. And here under arm, before and after the marker that we will put, we will work the increases. Here I worked already, so I worked some rounds and one increase. One increase, it is worked, will be worked in 2 steps, 2 rounds. First round will be work an increase before the marker and then after the marker. The marker on both sides. The sides on the, so I put the marker. This is the hip, it's actually the hip line, okay, and this is where we will put this increase. I already put these increases, but of course I will put some more because, as I said before, on this hip, with this hip increases. So I will begin here before this marker. It's exactly the marker that divide the front side to the back side on both hip lines. And here I will begin with an increase. Only that I will work only one part, so only one cluster at the beginning, and at the end of the round I will complete with one more, okay? Because I don't want to change the cluster that is the beginning and the end of the round. That's why I'm working like this. So this is the increase, will be the increase before the marker, and before the next marker on the other side, on the other arm to the hip, so that line I am talking about, I will put again one increase. So after the marker I won't put increase, I just continue on working all the clusters only before the marker. At the end here I will put the increase on the other side. So when I will be back to the end of the round, I will put another cluster on this one. And now I will work all around all the back side until I reach. As you see, I put 2 on that side and I will put 2 more. And 2 on the other side into the next round. So in this round we put 2 before the marker. into the next round we will put 2 after the marker, and with this set of 2 rounds we will increase as many times as we need, of course with 3 to 5 rounds in between. So we work 2 rounds of increases, these 2 rounds of increases. So now I'm working my second increase before the marker, and then I will finish the round finishing the first increase. I know it's a little bit confusing, but as you can see, I hope you understand why. Okay, so I work my increase before the marker, and now I will go ahead and work all to the end, the round, and at the end I will put one more cluster into the first cluster before the marker. Okay, here I will put one more cluster so I can finish this increase too. And into the next round I will work again one increase, but on the other side. So I am at the end, I worked all my clusters, I am at the end, I will put, here I am working my second cluster. So I have on both sides, front side and back side, one increase. Okay, insert hook into on the left side of your cluster into the secure chain and slip stitch to join. And now of course we have to turn, and we will work now on the other side, we will work an increase. So always we will work like this. Into the first round we work before the marker. Into the second round we will work again, let's say before the marker, because we turn on the other side. So first we work on one side of the marker, and into the second round we work the increase on the other side. It's easy because you see where you just increased, so you increase on the other side, and you will continue on like this. Of course, as I said, you will work 3 to 5 rounds in between for the width that you want, for the actually to obtain the hip circumference. This is the idea, so you can have a nice shape of your blouse. Not very straight, not very tight, but nice and large. Okay, so these increases are to obtain the hip circumference. 2 rounds with increases and 3 to 4. You will decide how many increases you need to put to obtain your hip circumference, and from there you can figure out how many rounds you will work in between these increases. Okay, so go ahead and work the length of your blouse. It's easy, still it has so many beautiful details that you can give the shape of the blouse. Around the neckline with the same size, hook size, 5 millimeters in my case, I will put a single crochet round. I will begin back of the neck, center back of the neck, before one cluster into the single crochet, beginning single crochet before one cluster, and I will single crochet. I will skip the single crochet, beginning single crochet with the cluster, and into the next 2 work 2 single crochets. So this is how we will continue on the back side. On the 5 rows that I work with the increases for the neckline, round neckline, I will put the single crochets, 2 single crochets around the double crochet of the cluster, and maybe, and not maybe, actually in between the rounds, each 2 or 3 in between the rows, in between the rows, about 2 or 3 after 2 or 3 rows. So because if it's too tight, this is something that you will decide. When I reach at the end, I will skip directly around the cluster, around the double crochet of the cluster. So don't work on the top of the last cluster, around it. So after you work the last 2 beginning single crochet, you will skip around the cluster, around the double crochet of the cluster, and work single crochet, 2 single crochets around each one. And if it's too tight, work in between the rows too. Okay, so I actually worked around around the double crochet for 3 rows, and then I work 1 in between, and then around the 2 rows. On the front side, where we joined, work exactly as for the back side, for the back of the neck, which means you will work only into the skipping chains. Okay, and this is how you will work the single crochet border. Will be nice. Can you see it? So I finished it. It's nice, and it gives a lovely simple border, but important detail. Okay, so in between the single crochets, yes, and on the I put 1 in between, and on the front side, as I said before, I explained before, I work only into the skipped chains, and I slip stitch at the end and cut the yarn. Let's see how to work the sleeves. Really easy. We have the 2 circumference. So the first one, as I already told you, we begin the large circumference begins into the cluster of the division row, and we work 1 cluster into the cluster of the division row, and 1 cluster on the other side of the cluster of the division row. So add 2 clusters more on one side and 2 clusters more on the other side, actually 4 clusters. And you will have, as I said before, about 30 and 36. So depends on the circumference that you will choose. If you choose 30, you will begin into the first raglan cluster of the sleeve, as actually I will show you. I begin because I choose the small circumference for a medium size. If you choose the large circumference, you will begin into the cluster on the top of the cluster of the division round. So actually I begin into the first cluster of the raglan increase on the wrong side. Very important detail, on the wrong side, because I am working on the right side and it's right and wrong. We have to maintain the same effect. It's kind of pattern stitch that we created working right and wrong, right side, wrong side. Really nice. And I will work all around, working on the second cluster of the raglaning of the sleeve raglan increase. Then I will complete 1 cluster on each cluster of the sleeve. So the number of the clusters that I have on the sleeve actually before the division. And if you work the larger size, you will add, as I said, 4 more. 4 more clusters, 2 on one side, 2 on the other side. I will finish the last cluster. So 2 more cluster added on the top and where you worked actually the cluster. I finished my first round, and let me show you how to, actually I have one more cluster to work, sorry. And the last cluster I worked is on the second cluster of the raglan increase of the sleeve. And if you choose to work the larger circumference, you will work 2 more. To join, chain 1 more and skip and insert hook into the secure chain of the first cluster, slip stitch and turn your work. You will just work exactly as you worked for the entire body, and I forget to told you to leave a longer tail if you work my circumference, the small circumference. And now like this I begin another cluster and another round, and you will just continue on like this. It's really easy, only that we have these 2 circumference that is important for you to understand. And if you choose my circumference, you will have a really ugly space under arm, and that's why I forgot to told you at the beginning to leave a longer tail so you can sew actually this. Because if you begin there and you will work the other cluster up and before and after the cluster of the division row, okay, you won't have this ugly gap, okay, to sew. If you begin with my circumference, the small one, you will have to sew a little bit exactly as I am doing there. No problem, it's not difficult. It's really easy to do. And here we are at the end of our tutorial. Hope you enjoy it. It's really nice and easy to work. I hope you will work it. You can work it in so many different yarns. I recommend it to you, that kind of particular yarns, because the stitch is really easy, but with particular yarns like ribbon yarns or paillette yarns or I don't know, boucle yarns, it's really nice. So that's it. Hope you enjoy it, and see you at the next tutorial. Bye bye.